are live, and I really congratulate you on overcoming your technophobe and getting live on Skype. Welcome to the 21st century. How are you, Lucy?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I can't remember the last time I know I've seen you on cam with my daughter and everything, waved and everything. I get all the news and views, but I don't think I've probably seen you for a couple of years. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah,
You're
I'm
good.
very good, thank you. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good. So where in the world are you, Lucy? Because I'm in Thailand, coming back to the UK. Where are you, for people who don't know you?
Okay, so I'm in Holywell, the coast side of Chester.
Lovely, lovely. And are you a Holywell lass, or are you just living there now?
No, I grew up in Colwyn Bay.
Did you really?
Yeah, so, well, my mum and dad lived in West Africa, so I was there for 3 years as a baby.
Wow.
And yeah, then they came back, Old Colwyn and then Colwyn Bay. So yeah, they're my roots.
That's interesting. Well, you know, I was born in Manchester, but my grandmother, Welsh speaker, born at Anglesey. My dad's Welsh. I've got a Manchester mum, and I came back to Wales with Catherine, Stephen, my two kids, because you're Catherine's mate, my daughter's mate, and that would be 30 odd years ago. So I don't know if I'm Welsh, if I'm a Mancunian, if I'm Thai. I don't know what I am. So you actually are West Africa.
Yeah, my dad worked for the bank in Accra in West Africa, so I don't remember because I was so tiny. But yeah, yeah, I've heard lots and lots of fascinating stories.
So give me the town in West Africa, or the city. What would we recognise?
So Accra and Takoradi.
Right. Okay. I'd like to be clever and say I know those places, but I don't. So yeah, interesting. Do you have any connections there now, or is that all in the past?
No, sadly, all in the past. I did speak to my brother and about going back there, really, because I would like to see. I know it will have dramatically changed, but yeah, there's a bit of an itch that I need to scratch there, I feel. But
it's funny you should say that. I went back with a friend of mine whose parents and her grandparents were Polish, and they all came out of Poland just after the Second World War. They did a runner. History's repeating itself at the moment with that sort of area in the world, but they did a runner at that time, and he wanted to go back and find his roots also in Poland. And actually, I was blessed. I went with him when I was 21, and we had 7 weeks in Krakow. All over Poznan. One of the things I went to, I didn't realise the impact of it at the time, and I probably understand more about it now than I did then. But I went to Auschwitz, and all that, Zakopane, all those areas. It was a fascinating experience, and it was when Lech, what was it called? The solidarity movement was going on with Lech Wałęsa, and there was a big uprising. And Poland's all been liberated now and changed, which is probably the same sort of story in West Africa. Totally different place.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Poland. I've been to Poland as well. It is an amazing place. I would go back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Just admiring your wind chimes behind. That all bamboo, is it?
Yes, the koshi chimes. Yeah.
Wonderful. Got bamboo all over the farm here. So bamboo decorations and bamboo ornaments. They actually use bamboo. It's very, very strong wood for doing scaffolding here. When
amazing,
they do buildings, they put bamboo ladders and bamboo scaffolding. It looks very rickety, but it's absolutely stronger than steel, I'm told. It's really beautiful wood. Yeah. So have you ever had a tarot reading before?
Yes, I have. And I did do a course with Kat in 2020. Yeah, so I have. I don't really.
Kat Garner, my daughter. So that's Kat, my daughter. She taught you. Me and Catherine have done tarot together, for as long as I can remember. It's something that I've always done, and they've grown up with it, with Weirdo Dad, and and
it's interesting. It's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I know you join in with some of the group stuff that I do, and some of the public readings that I do, but this is a private reading, but we are public, so I'm not going to be doing anything that reveals too much of your confidential information. But what I wanted to do with Tarot Talk was introduce people to tarot, and give you the opportunity of a past, present and future reading. So let's just do the reading, and as we do the reading, the tarot will talk. So I want a number from you for your past, and the cards, I've got 72 cards, so any number, Lucy, between 0 and 72.
9, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I always tell people what these numbers mean as we go. And 9 is obviously the German word for no, but it's actually a circle with a tail, where it's a circle with the tail coming down is a 9, where a 6 is a circle with a tail going up, and it's normally the answer to a prayer. And the card is actually deception and envy.
Ooh.
So it's actually taking off your rose-tinted glasses, because I know that you are a very positive lady who always looks on the bright side of life. I feel like I should sing that, you know. Always look on, and you are that sort of a lady. But there's energy flowing from you, full of love. This is you, quite male, even though you're clearly a female. But you are assertive, you are strong, you are a goal-orientated winner sort of a woman. And this is a lovely card, and it's got a blue surround, because whether or not you know it or not, there's jealousy around you, or there's people that are not presenting themselves in their true light, but you're seeing them as a projection of you. In other words, you always see the best in people. And what this is saying is just at the moment, be aware, take your rose-tinted glasses off, if you like, and see things, be real. Wake up and smell the coffee, if you like. Now, that's a bit of it's the first time that actually I've pulled this card for anybody while I've been doing Tarot Talk on Mr. GTV. So I'm just going to go a little bit deeper. Okay, so this is interesting now. I hope you don't object to me exploring a little bit.
No.
But this is about this. Yes, you know these cards. I know you know that. But this is disruption. This is a disruptive male who actually is all over the place. He's disjointed. He's a jigsaw that's not been put together. It's a bit like what's that game, Jenga? Yeah, there's the blocks. And this is a man that's got disruption. So there is a man at the moment around you, or interacting with you, involved in you, that might be being kind. In other words, might be telling white lies, or he might be actually spinning you a line. I don't really know. I can check that out for you in a minute. But it is a man who, and if you look at the posturing there, he's very guarded. He's not open. He's not open-hearted. He's not an evil man. I don't sense anything evil here, but there's somebody here that's not telling you the truth. Good Manchester expression is he's telling you porkies, porcupine. But what this is saying is that the advice to you, whether or not this is going on at the moment or whether it's going to happen, I suggest it's actually going on now, because it's coming up with the blacks around, which is very much in the moment, is that just when somebody tells you something that's quite influential or quite important or quite significant, check it out for yourself.
Okay.
Don't be led by the nose. I'm going to go a little bit further with this for you. Okay, so this comes up with impatience. This comes up with impatience. Now, this is your past card. There's frustration in the past. There is a tendency to want to get results quicker, but you've been hampered because of personal circumstances. You've also got people around you who don't allow you to be the best that you can be, because they're actually being too kind. And what they're doing is they are underestimating your power. And it's I would suggest possibly that this could be your significant other who's more worried about you than you are, and it can be a bit of a head game. But a lovely man. But a lovely man. And I think although you've had challenges, I think you wear the trousers, and although you've had challenges, I think actually, although this person loves you and wants to serve you, I think sometimes you would be tempted to say, let me get on with it, I'm okay, don't worry about me. You are very real in the way that you see it, and you've got to continue to be real. This man is very guarded and protective about you, and you actually don't want to be wrapped in cotton wool. That's how I'm overseeing the whole of that story. Impatience is that you want to reach for the stars, but your personal circumstances over the last few years and months particularly have hindered you. But you are actually on an upward climb on a ladder. You are climbing up the ladder. You're not at the bottom of it, and you're not at the top of it yet. And there's impatience because you want to get there quicker, but it's just personal circumstances in the past have hampered you slightly. Can you take that?
That's absolutely spot on, yeah.
Just wanted to mention that on a bit of a roll. When we put it into the past, that's very much what that means. It's quite interesting, really, that that card for deception and envy comes up with a 7 on it. That card with disruption comes up with a 1 and a 6 on it, which is a 7. And what that's all about is that you're going to have an event that's coming up that's affected by this dynamic in the 7th month, which is May, June, July. And what this is telling you is that you've actually got to almost like be visibly stronger for this man so that he trusts your own personal power, because you've got things happening between now and July. And if it carries on with the dynamic and you don't see it, in other words, don't get annoyed by it or don't get frustrated. You've actually got to be, although he thinks he's looking after you, you've actually got to get him out of this disruption and give him peace of mind, even though it's your problem. Because if you don't, you won't go forward. It's always going to hold you back. You've got almost like got to, it's like you can walk a dog on a lead, but at a time you've got to trust the dog and let it go.
Yeah.
And I think that very much applies that your partner wants to cos it you, but you've got more power than that, and you've got to actually be kind and allow him to love you, but tell him, I'm okay.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Alan.
I love him already, because I'd be exactly the same. I love him already. And this is all good and it's all positive. But this is your reading. You know, if I had him there, I wouldn't be saying this behind his back. Anybody who loves somebody who's going through something wants to wrap them up in cotton wool, but you're not a wrap up in cotton wool woman.
No. No, I'm not. No. Yeah, it's completely, I mean, I've had a couple of medical issues, and for the last few years, and I've recently gone through another one, and yeah, it couldn't be more true, really. I think yeah, he, you know, I love him, and he's devoted to me and helping me, and he's my rock. But yeah, I think, yeah,
it's very tough. It's very tough. I'm not going to call him your carer, because I know you're far too independent for that. But if we just use that word so that other people will understand the dynamic, it's very hard for people who are looking after people, and quite often they don't look after themselves. And what this is saying is you've got to watch the signs. You've got to take the glasses off and check him, because he's quite disrupted, and so almost like you've got to care for each other. It's not just going to be and I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. But that's just a heads up.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard for somebody to watch somebody. What he says to me is that it upsets him to watch me struggling trying to do something and not asking for help. But then, because I'm quite stubborn and strong-willed, I will do that because I'm you know, I can do that. I will do it. I will find a way to do it, and I do. But he wishes that I would just say, "Oh, please, can you?" Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
You'll work it out because you love each other. You'll work it out. 100%.
Yeah.
You'll work it out. Give me a card for your present moment, Lucy.
21.
1, 2, 3,
Please.
21 today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I wish.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You're seeing it before me. Ah, interesting. Throat chakra. Well, that ties in with the other one. And you know what I'm going to say? It's about communication. So that will be solved going forward by communication. Throat chakra is the empowerment of your voice box. And you've got two voices. You've got the one that you speak with and the one in your head. And it's got to be, you know, you've got to say what you mean and mean what you say, but knowing that some of the dynamic of the situation is creating that, you've just got to lovingly, and that's very much that's got a black surround. You understand the significance of that's going on now. That's got a black surround, and this is all not forgetting, because you'll have the recording of this, that we've said there's a significant event in July for you. So it's getting the dynamics of the relationship now, because I think something good's going to happen, but I don't want somebody protecting you and telling you that you can't do it because maybe this will happen and maybe that will happen and maybe. So I think it's the conversations have got to take place now to allow you to have the freedom, and also to let him off the hook so that he can have his time and allow you to have your time, so that you've both got power independently but you're stronger together. It's all about conversations, that. So I'm going to choose a card for you now, which is this. Okay. Emotional withdrawal, which comes up on 8. So based on the fact that something's going to happen in 7, have you got any holidays planned or any vacations or anything going on which would come round about August?
It's June.
Okay. This is emotional withdrawal in August, and it's relaxing of your heart, spending time on the beach, but that's a metaphor of meditation and stillness, which it's recommending would be in August. I'm going to go a little bit further with this for you. Comes up with maturity as well. So it suggests to me that you've got to, there's an expression which is called gird your loins, which is a bit of an old way. It's another word. This is a preparation for something where there could be something that could make you emotional, and it's sort of saying, step back from it and don't get involved, and keep yourself protected from it, and have some maturity around a situation that's going to come up around about August time. So this is like a pre-warning. Okay, so this is possibly, I just say it as it is, but I'm going to give you the card that I've got.
Okay.
I just say it as it is, Lucy, and don't make any judgments about it. So I don't make any judgments about it. And obviously at the moment, in advance of that, we don't know what that is.
No.
But I'd just be aware of that and get yourself into a position of strength. You and Alan, is it, yeah?
Yes.
Get yourself communicating in a position of strength, because there is something coming up where you're going to have an emotional withdrawal, and it's because of that.
Okay. Yeah.
It actually, funnily enough, shows a woman holding a dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I've not seen that card before.
Well, it's basically an organic loss. It's a loved one, but it's not. Do you have pets? Do you have pets?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a dog? I don't want to.
Yes.
We
too.
Is your dog well?
Yeah.
I'm not going to
tell you. At the moment.
Not going to tell you that you're going to lose your dog, but when a dog comes up, actually, it's a metaphor of dogma, and dogma is a belief system. That's why a vicar wears a dog collar.
Yeah.
It's about dogma. It's not about the death of a dog. I'm joking with you. It's about the death of a belief system. It's about the collapse of a paradigm. Do you know what I mean by the paradigm? It's the collapse of a known into an unknown that puts you into the wilderness. In other words, it's rather like something happens that shocks you.
Belief.
Yes, a belief. And you're going to need you and Alan together. It's not a person. I wanted to talk that through. It's not and it's not a dog. Yeah. It's a dogma. It's rather like, I've got to be careful what I say now because of Facebook and YouTube, but it's rather like we can't believe when we put the television on what we're seeing. And that would be one of these situations where you wake up and think, oh my God, everything that I trusted, everything that I knew in the world, it's changed.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, I've got to wear this, I've got to have this, I can't go out, I've got to stand 3 meters from somebody, I can't. That is a shifting dogma that gives you
belief system.
Yeah, now this is suggesting that something's going to happen probably to everybody, but I'm actually reading you because we're all in the oneness, so we all share these societal effects. This is a complete shift in society globally, so it affects us all. But because I'm reading you, Lucy, because you've kindly volunteered, what this is saying is you're going to be a shift, and you're going to be emotionally in the wilderness again. In other words, you're going to find yourself a bit lost, and this is why communication with your husband and building up those strong bonds are important, because you're going to need each other, because there's a situation in August that's going to rock you again.
Okay.
Rock you again. So there's another thing that's going to happen. This is a powerful reading, and yes, I hope you're enjoying it. It's but I mean, this is life.
Right.
This is life. This is life, and the cards are there to give you guidance. Whether you listen, whether you believe, whether or not you take heed or act upon it is completely up to you. I'm never arrogant enough to say that I'm right, but I've done cards for years and years and years, as you know, and you trust the cards as well. So this is kind, loving, constructive guidance to prepare you for something that we've already said starts in July, and then it's going to rock you a little bit in August. And what it's saying is that just emotionally detach from it. Don't take it to heart, because that way it won't hurt you. That way it won't hurt you. And it's also said that the ability for you to strengthen the communication between you and Alan, and to make him know that you're stronger than you are, and for you to actually take your rose-tinted glasses off and to realise at times, yes, he's fine, but actually, no, he's not fine. And then to act upon that witnessing of you, to act upon that awareness. Just keep your eye on him. Just keep your eye on him, because the cards are suggesting there is a bit of disruption there, or it's about to come. So I want a future card for you now, please. A number for your future, Lucy.
34, please.
Wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, I'm really... Okay, good. Passion ignited, rapture, 1, all about you. Now, I think what we've got here is a story that's going to take place over the next 3 or 4 months. We've mentioned the 7th month, which would be July. We've mentioned August, and we've said that by strengthening your throat chakra, your ability to speak out and to witness your husband being a wonderful carer and a wonderful loving man, that you don't miss the fact that sometimes he can be upset by his experience that's in the dynamic of the relationship.
Yeah.
And that there's conversations that would help and to clear the decks. We've also said that something's going to come in round about August that's going to change your belief system, or it's going to challenge your belief system, and by communicating about it and stepping back from it emotionally and not maybe taking it too personal and showing maturity. In other words, don't spit your dummy out too quickly, don't react, just step back and just wait, and maybe go for a walk, because it showed somebody going into stillness, not going into reaction, you know.
Yeah.
Because what's coming up before the end of the year is this passion ignited. Let me just get you an overview on what that's coming from. Okay, so yes, okay. So this is a woman now. This is a Libra and scales that's got a portal of opportunity, and that blue on that card represents that blue there. So if you're able to strengthen that relationship and together cope with this emotional situation that's going to change your belief system and come through it together because of better communication, passion's reignited between you and your husband, but the number one is about you. You are the one. This is a woman rapturing, loving, because you've been strong enough to tell the truth, and it's only true. Say again.
I'm just the truth card with the throat chakra card, and
yes.
Yeah, it's just all wrapped in together, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's about expressing honesty and having the maturity to say it as it is, rather than, as I say, you know, people have been deceiving you, but you can say to them, listen, you might say you're okay, but I don't think you are.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell the truth, and I want you to tell me when you're not okay. And I want you to tell me not what I want to hear, but I want you to tell your truth. Because I need to hear your truth, because otherwise we can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And this is going from here, stepping onto those scales and going through that portal of opportunity. And that's what you'll do. And this is a woman ready to make a new adventure. This is bags packed, earth woman, going forward positively, which I see as you. Now, I picked up that card from the other deck, which is healing.
Wow. You couldn't have, you couldn't. It's amazing, isn't it?
So this is your path. Even though you've had your own challenges, I find that my most powerful sessions with my clients, whether it's clinically, spiritually, holistically, whatever, corporately, I teach best from my own experience. And because of your experiences, you've got a plethora of stories, and you know, you can talk about an surgery, pain, challenge, you know, maybe enforced limitations and having to have patience.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're still a lovely, smiling woman who goes out there and kicks ass and lives a life, aren't you? I know that because my daughter tells me. So what I'm saying is that that's your path, is to tell those stories. This is why we're doing this, so that people can see you and hear you and appreciate what's going on. Because I don't want to break any confidences, but you've had a series of surgeries, haven't you, recently?
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I've had an awful lot. I've had just on my 10th. And so, yeah, in 2019, I had double foot surgery. 2020, I had hip surgery. And then I've just had my hand sorted out in November, and my ankle sorted out in January. So yeah, I'm a bit of a metal Mickey.
Well, the thing is, the reason I wanted to say that with greatest respect and love, and I knew that we said before I came on that if you wanted to share that, that's your place to share it, not mine, which is why I asked. I didn't say it. Is that nobody would guess that looking at you. Nobody would ever guess that looking at you. And I mean, I know you don't want to become a martyr to it, in the same way that my spine injury, you knew how bad I was 13 years ago. But we go through these things to learn from and then to teach from. That our healing is global healing, and we can share those stories and give other people comfort and inspiration. And I feel that the card that's come up, which is seeing things as they are, that you start the healing process in the home so that you're strong with Alan, and then you get out there with everything that you're doing with Kat, in your own stories, in your own knowledge, in your own wisdom, in your own way, and just with your friends, you're in a circle, and then it becomes an extended outer circle on Facebook and whatever else you do. You know, you are on not just a personal healing journey, Lucy, that your story is a blessing to everybody, and it needs to be expressed through your throat chakra, which is what the card says. And I think possibly the suggestion is that truth and those stories are going to give you that passion ignited, and that's why you are almost like sacrificial in experiencing these things, which are quite painful, because you're going through it because you can cope with it, and then you can empower other people who might be experiencing the same. I absolutely feel that that's what, I mean, I know personally, I mean, this is beyond the remit of this talk, but I know that you've been a great strength to my daughter when she's had challenges just recently. And what I'll say is that, you know, when you're strong, it empowers other people to be strong. And I think that's what you're here to do. And I feel the same for me, the same for Kat. There's so many people in our group, and anybody watching this has got their own story, and they mustn't be frightened of telling that story and teaching from that story, because that's what we're here to do. And the world's shit at the moment. You know, there's all these wars and all these globalists trying to mess it all up, and nobody wants any of it. So what we've got to do as people in the world is just love each other and smile and find pleasure and power, you know, and share our experiences so that people don't feel lonely.
Yeah, for sure.
You I know you've got tons of friends, and you know, you like people and people like you, and I'm the same. And to be honest with you, I'm a better man for some of the shit that's happened to me, and I'm sure that you've learned a lot through your stories.
Hugely, yeah, and a lot of the things that I've learned from yourself and from Kat have got me, I think, have got me through, you know, and yeah, I've changed massively. I've learned not to walk around with my shoulders up by my ears, and checking on my breathing, and you know, just things like that you start this shallow breathing and you don't even know you're doing it. And so much, I've learned so much from you both. Really fun.
You're very welcome, and I'm sure that you're, you know, whenever you're in a queue in a hospital or in a waiting room and you see somebody else, I'm sure you're sharing that with them as well. I don't think you'll be a shrinking violet in those situations. It's just not your nature. Have you got any questions before we close this, Lucy? It's been an absolute honour. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm good. That was amazing. Thank you very much, and I can completely relate to it all. Yeah.
Well, on Facebook, I mean, obviously, you know, this is coming through Skype and Lou Shannon, but on Facebook, you're Lucy Shannon. It comes up with you in Flintshire, does it, or North Wales? I mean, if people are looking for you, yeah. And I can't thank you enough. I'm sure that all your friends are going to love watching this. I've enjoyed it, so I'll say good night. And what are you doing for the rest of the day?
I've started to occupy myself whilst I'm not walking at the moment with my crochet. So I'm a bit I'm making these mad little curly scarves with leftover yarn, and yeah, any proceeds that I get, I'm going to donate to the Ukraine appeal. So that's keeping me a little bit occupied at the moment.
So are you in a wheelchair at the moment?
I'm on a knee scooter, which is an amazing thing, and it's instead of crutches, because my hands, my wrists are fused, and so I do struggle on crutches, although I do have to do a bit on crutches. But the knee scooter is, yeah, it's made it a whole lot easier for me. It's amazing. I was a bit of an object of fascination in the supermarket the other day, because there was a bunch of kids staring and saying, "Why is she on that?"
They wanted one. They wanted one.
Yeah.
They wanted one. All being well, Lucy, and Catherine will tell you, but I'll be back in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and we'll get together. We'll probably share a sausage roll at my son's deli.
That'd be brilliant. I look forward to seeing you.
Take care. God bless. We'll speak again.
Thank you very much.
Don't go. I'm just going to stop the recording. Don't go, Lucy. I want to just... Okay.